Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Just As I Was Playing, where I am playing, sorry, Final Fantasy XIV. Last episode we did some more job quests. In this episode we're going to go and do even more job quests. Anyway. We only need to do Machinist, Black Mage, and Summoner still. And then we can go and move on with the story. With attorney victory, we have indelibly, that's a word, etched the Machinist presence in the mind of the Holy See. And now that my father has relinquished the running of the manufactory to me, it would seem my fortunes have at last taken a turn for the better. Father has also formally responded to Lord Telogrinch, promising our support in House Tamiel's next sortie. I am not yet privy to the details of the operation, but I imagine the role Telogrinch will choose for us shall be both demanding and dangerous. In his attempt to humiliate the Machinist, however, he will only provide us with another stage on which to prove our worth. A victory in the field will garnish us greater support from the Holy See and allow me to apportion funds towards the development of ever more potent weapons. Thus, it is vitally important that we see this operation succeed, but an equally important matter must be addressed ere we delve too deeply into such concerns. The celebration of our tourney triumph. We must have Joy and Rosenthal join us for the festivities. But I believe Joy's services are yet required at the manor. Pray seek out our Master of Marksmanship first, if you would. A party, is it? I ain't going. All I did during the tourney was watch. How can you say that, Master Rosenthal? Without your instruction, we'd never have stood a chance. And now look at us. Upstart commoners defeating the likes of seasoned knights. I thought you either should, but that tourney victory was something you managed on your own. I can see arguing with you ain't getting me nowhere. I'll just drag you back to the workshop instead. But still, we can't begin the festivities without Joy. This time of the day, she'll be at her chores in the manor house. Maybe if you could talk to the Count, he'll let her leave early to attend the celebration. She ain't one to abandon her duties half done, though. It'd be best to approach the Count directly, and not give her a chance to object. Oh, the lass is awful serious about her work. Wouldn't want her keeling over from guilt now, would we? The Count should be home, if you don't mind talking to him. I'll be sure the instructor here makes it to the celebration. Ba-da-dum. There is to be a celebration, is there? And naturally you have come to fetch Joy. Pray return to the manufactory and I shall be along forthwith to explain why she shan't be attending. Everyone is present, yes. Once again, pray allow me to congratulate you all on your tourney performance. Ere you celebrate your victory, however, I have news. What is it, Father? 'Twas quite a sudden development, but Joy has wed. Bloody else. Well, there's another good reason to bring out the grog. Wed? I had heard not of any engagement. She is gone, then. Aye, Joy's chambers at the manor have already been emptied. And now that she is married, I do not foresee her returning to the manufactory. She left behind her firearm. Wait, what's Joy getting married got to do with her leaving the workshop? Within the walls of Ishgard, 'tis usually the unwed what serve the manor houses. Many retire from such work upon the day of their marriage, as young Joy has done. It's all too much. Now that we have at last earned a modicum of recognition, it is ill-timed to lose so talented a machinist. It would seem that familiar circumstances demand that a swift union be made. But let us not bemoan what is lost. Let us instead raise a toast to the happiness Joy has found. You must needs accept your colleague has moved on, and adapt your strategies accordingly. House Tamiel will call upon you soon, and I expect to hear great things from this allied operation. The yawning abyss has opened in our ranks. How could she leave us without so much as a final farewell? Familial circumstances. Something ill befallen her dad, I wonder? Celestial, you are acquainted with Joy's father? Aye, we oft hunted together. He was the one who suggested I try me hand here at the workshop. Told me his daughter had found herself a decent job at a fine employer. And mayhap he can also tell you whither his daughter has gone. I would fain convince both the wife and her new husband to accept positions at the manufactory. I'll speak with him, my lord. I don't much fancy taking to the field without Joy and her uncanny aim at my side. Even should Joy refuse my overture, however, we cannot simply abandon our obligation to house the male. Boss and Saul, you must drill your students without quarter. I'll push them as hard as you like, boss, as long as I'm fairly compensated. Celebrations shall have to wait, Lyn. Unless we can persuade Joy to return, the burdens of battle must be divided betwixt those of us who remain. But surely she will come back to us. Surely. Black Mage! No, that's the wrong thing. I was about to like, wait. Black Mage quest? Ishgard? Nani? I have not seen my Black Mage gear in a little bit. Or just my casting gear in general. I think it's over here. And then I go down this way. Yep. Ah, Lyn, you come at a good time. I've made a remarkable discovery which I would share with you. After Master Kukuruka passed away, I went to his cell in the Marasaya pit, the cell in which he spent 100 years locked away. I doubted my master, and the guilt of it gnaws at my conscience. In order to atone, I decided to preserve the fruits of his research for future generations. Well, as I went about sorting through his personal effects, I found a most peculiar slip of parchment bearing a jumble of glyphs and sigils, which I instantly recognized to be a cipher. When I removed the cipher to reveal the hidden words, I could scarce believe my eyes. They described the whereabouts of 2 ancient tomes, the Books of Nalthal. The tomes are said to contain the secrets of forbidden spells, and their existence has been hidden from even the Thaumaturgist Guild. Jeez. Master Kukuruka entrusted you with his legacy. Lyn, you would want the tomes to be in your keeping. The first tome is said to be at Nald's Reflection in southern Thailand. Come, let us make haste and retrieve it. I found the first tome, Lyn, the Book of Naught. It lay not a thump on the parchment where the parchment said it would be. But gods, I cannot stop trembling. My blood runs cold simply imagining the havoc that could be wreaked with the knowledge within. Such power must be safeguarded, lest it fall into the wrong hands. Let us make haste and retrieve its twin, the Book of Thal. It should be at Thal's Respite. Which is over there, yeah. I do recognize these 2 places. It's quite unusual that it's raining in this place. Then the unthinkable has happened. The chest is empty. The Book of Thal is gone. Who could have taken it? Who else could have known? Gods, if the tome secrets were to be used for evil, this is an absolute disaster. And my worries do not end there. Should the Thaumaturge's Guild somehow learn of the tome's existence, they will stop at nothing to seal them away. Cannot be borne. Master Kukuruka spent his lifetime restoring the knowledge of black magic to the world. We cannot suffer any part of it to be lost. At any rate, there's nothing more to be done here. Let us return to the Sacrarium and reassess the situation. Okay, not a cutscene. There's nothing left for me here. Lurking Leech. What a name. I'm sorry you had to see me lose my composure, Yulin. As I made my way back upon the situation, when I found the chest, it was covered in a century's worth of dust. Some of that dust had been knocked loose by prying hands, and nothing had settled in its place. From this, it can be inferred that the tome was taken recently. Now, the tome we were able to retrieve, the Book of Nald, is enciphered by an enchantment. I think it is safe to assume that its twin benefits from like protection. Such a protection will not be easily circumvented. It will take the thief time. Time enough, I hope, for us to track him down, retrieve the tome, and avert disaster. But enough talk. I shall make some discreet inquiries into the missing tome. Oh, and if you do not mind, I would like to hold on to the Book of Nald for examination. In the meantime, I suggest you continue your training in the dark arts. You may have need of your skills again ere long. Go. And then it is summoner time. That is still not the place where I need to go. I automatically click on this every single time. But that is not what I'm going to do. Time to make my way over to an annoying to reach area. I have to run around in my Final Fantasy game? I can't just fly everywhere or teleport everywhere? As you can hear, these are the ramblings of a madman. I totally didn't raid like 2 hours earlier today. Or 3 technically. Anyway, Yumitra. Then, you visit me at a most opportune moment. I have tidings that you of all people should hear. After our last encounter, I presented our findings on the art of summoning to my fellow scholars. Suffice it to say that the response has been enthusiastic. In addition to a flood of offers to assist with my research, I have also been promised a contribution of several rare, elegant tomestones. I imagine that any summoning knowledge hidden within these relics, or those relics, would prove of great benefit to us both. Shall we journey out to Mordona now and pay a visit to Rambros? Apparently we shall. Bum, 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 bum. Then, how do you fare, my friend? As ever, we here at St. Connex find remain firmly entrenched in our efforts to excavate the secrets of the Allegan Empire. The members of Noah must be armed with knowledge if they are truly to pave the way to the future. Ah, I see you are here with the intrepid Yumitra. Might I assume you have come to collect your promised tomestones? I am most eager to sink my scholar's teeth into something new. Allow me to feed your fervor. We have encountered a number of relics which, on cursory inspection, appear to contain detailed mythology for several summoner incantations. Who better than you to decipher their mysteries? Leviathan, Ramu, Shiva, with every new primal that appears, the importance of a thorough study of summoning magics becomes ever more apparent. Speaking of those particular deities, Lyn, I am given to understand that you had a hand in defeating every one of them. Your name features quite prominently in the reports we received from the Science of the Seventh Dawn. And as you were present at each of their downfalls, it then follows that your aura was infused with the essence of those primals. Could it be possible that you now have the potential to call forth new Eggy? By the 12, of course! The most trying of the requisite conditions have already been met. All that remains is to perform the summoning rituals at locations charged with the appropriate elemental energies. Master Ramblers, can you suggest any places in which the etheric balance tips heavily towards either water, lightning, or ice? Also, a dog barking in the background, because why not? The singeing shards should adequately serve your needs for lightning. The area is alive with a constant discharge of crackling energy. The singeing shards it is then. Let us perform the austerities of lightning and attempt to bring Ramu Eggy into this world. Bork, bork, bork. I am a distraught dog. Well, not distraught. Most of the time he's just like, I want this. Give this to me. Or he noticed something like, oh my god, the enemy. And thus he starts borking. Let us then begin the austerities of lightning. Concentrate on shifting your aesthetic energies towards the desired element. I sense nothing. I do not understand. Of all the conditions, all of the conditions have been fulfilled. The summoning ritual has never failed us before. Whatever could be missing? Well, there is little point in us remaining here if Ramu Eggy will not answer your call. Shall we return to Gridania? Yay. Back to Opkalu Falls. Woohoo. Hello, Lynn. I scoured my research notes for a hint as to why the summoning failed, but there were no relevant revelations to be found. I am forced to conclude that the cause must lie outside our current understanding of the art. The pause art. Thus shall I begin studying the tombstones we received from Rambros, and hope they contain some heretofore unknown wisdom. Mayhap these new Eggy require a different manner of catalyst? While I delve into this mystery, I suggest you continue practicing your art. We enter an uncharted realm of summoning, and you must be prepared, body and spirit. Right, and that is it for the Japa quest. Right. And yeah. With that, we shall go back to Ishkard and continue the main quest. Last time I was playing Black Mage, I'm pretty sure, in the story. So now we're going to be running around as a summoner. This one we're also going to wait with until we're level 53. Gotta check anything really that like is a certain level, except for like all the like actual side quests like 7 and blue quests and all that jazz. I'm just gonna ignore until we are farther into the game. The warrior of light and her brave companions walking the streets of Ishgard at last. What a glorious sight! I cannot tell you how long I have waited for this day. Allow me to present to you my family home, Fort Tom's Manor. I would like nothing more than to show you around, but everyone is gathered to receive you. Come, my friends. Introductions must be made. And I think this is voiced, so...
My lord, I have returned with the Scions.
I hope your journey was not too taxing. I, Count Edmond de Fortom, do bid you welcome. As wards of House Fortom, you shall be afforded every courtesy. My home is your home.
My companions and I are deeply honored, Count Fortin.
The honor is mine, Master Alphino. Consider it an expression of our gratitude for your service to Ishgard.
Forgive me, my lord, but are you not concerned? To accept foreign guests at such a juncture, especially ones with our reputation.
Do not worry yourself on my account. 'Tis true that Ishgard's first thought has ever been the war effort, hence the closing of our borders. Yet it is in troubled times most of all that men should seek allies, don't you think? Granted, my decision will have raised eyebrows in the vault and in the halls of the other high houses. But so long as you continue with your altruistic endeavors, I doubt my honored peers will feel moved to voice their concerns.
Then there is naught to fear. Though our numbers are much reduced, we are no less determined to carry on our work.
Full glad am I to hear it. But before you return to your labors, why not take a tour of the city? You would do well, I think, to acquaint yourselves with your new surroundings. After all, you may be here for some time.
Our friends in House for Tom have been generous enough. Whoops, he blocked the chat. I'm not blocking the chat, the opposite. Anyway. Our friends in House for Toms have been generous enough to extend us their protection. We must take care not to impose too much on their hospitality. It is only proper that we learn about our new home, so that we might become more self-sufficient. It'll take a while to learn the lay of the land, but learn it we must. Then there's the market and taverns. We need to know where to stop and where to hear small talk. It would seem a tour of the city is indeed in order. I thank you for your counsel, my lord. My companions and I shall of course do as you suggest. Very good. Then my manservant shall accompany you. You'll be able to answer any questions you might have. Ah, but I grow forgetful in my dotage. There is something I must give you ere we part. Their documentation is in order, I trust? Yes, my lord. Those documents identify you as wards of House Fortemps. Given that our borders have remained closed for decades, many of my countrymen are unaccustomed to treating with foreigners. Should anyone happen to question your presence here, it may prove necessary to remind them that you remain under the protection of House Fortemps. But let us hope it shall not come to that. Rest assured that we shall do our utmost to avoid any situation which might compel us to invoke your name. Then, Tataru, the city awaits. Let's go. So much nodding. Nod. You're like that nut button that people use sometimes? Like a nut, but then with nod. It's like nod. Anyway. Ah, this is your first time in our fair city. Pray permit me to show you to the Hoplon, from whence we may gaze upon the splendor of the Holy Vault. Though all other sides pale in comparison, 'tis only meet that you see it first. I shall then show you around the Jeweled Crozier, where you may purchase all manner of goods and services before descending to Foundation's Aetheryte Plaza. If there are no questions. Bam bam bam. 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 Wasn't me. I like that name. Good name. The Hoplon, so named for the bronze great shield borne by our nation's patron deity, is the largest plaza in Ishgard. Magnificent cathedral to the north is, of course, the Holy Vault. The vault is both Ishgard's seat of governance and the residence of the Archbishop of the Ishgardian Orthodox Church. Begging your pardon, the statue to the south, are they perchance Thorden's famed Knights 12? Very good, Master Alfino. They are the fathers of Ishgard, the brave knights who joined with King Thordan the First to put down Nidhogg and found this great nation. Ours is a city rich in history and tradition, and there's much you can learn by exploring the pillars, time permitting, of course. Now then, if you would allow me to, if you would follow me to the Jeweled Crozier, I shall introduce you to Mistress Alaise, our master of the markets. Jeweled Crozier. I think I did like... I did like explore the city to get all the little aetheryte shards, but... I'm not sure if I recorded that. I'm pretty sure I did though. Would be weird if I didn't record that. Showing of Ishgard. Well, here clearly not locals or traveling peddlers, which makes you all. Ah, Wards of House Fortant. I suck at saying that. Ah, very interesting. Count Edmond has granted us leave to remain in Ishgard for as long as we wish, which may be some time. Accordingly, we will have need of sundry goods, hence our desire to make your acquaintance. That is, of course, assuming you are content to accept the custom of foreigners. Should you be uncomfortable? Young sir, we do not discriminate in matters of money. If you have the coin to spend, who are we to refuse it? Weapons, armor, accoutrements, medicine, materials, whatever your desire. It can be found in the Crozier. Our merchants will be more than happy to accommodate you, as you shall soon see. Our next destination is the Aetheryte Plaza in Foundation. Is everyone ready? Or if everyone is ready, whatever. Ba -ba -bum. And here we have Foundation's Aetheryte Plaza. If you have yet to attune to the Aetheryte, it would be wise to do so now. And we can also get some gear. Should be so needed. This freaking stuff is crazy. As for our next destination, mayhap we should decide together. What else can be found nearby? The Skysteel Manufactory stands to the west. There are engineers conceive and manufacture weapons for use against the dragons. The Holy Stables, where chocobos are trained for war, also lie in that direction. To the north and east can be found the congregation of our Knights Most Heavenly, while to the south and east, well, it would be best if you avoided that area. And why is that? I fear our knights may not be able to ensure your safety in the lower levels, Master Alfino. Hold your nose when you pass the broom, little lord. Delicate flower like you is like wilt in our fumes. You misjudge me, sir, for I am no lord but a humble traveller. Ah, come to see the sides, have you? Take a turn down the Hoplon and gawp at the statues? Ah, well, if you have a mind to learn how the better half live, come and have a drink at the Forgotten Knight, if your nursemaid will let you. My humblest apologies, Master Alfino. Pray pay that drunken lout no mind. Oh, but I must. It would not do to refuse such a heartfelt invitation. Yes, I simply must see this forgotten knight for myself. I trust you see the wisdom in this, Lynn. There are few sources of information more abundant than a bustling local hostelry. Not that I expect to hear any news of our missing comrades just yet. Nevertheless, who can say what we might learn of recent events? Then I'm coming too. It's interesting to me that there's just like some knights standing at random positions with their shields or swords out, just freezing to death. Well, I guess they are used to it, so maybe it's not that big of a deal for them. Whee. Must say, this is rather unusual. Not just one, but a whole party of fresh new faces in my tavern. We but recently arrived in Ishgard and are eager to acquaint ourselves with her most notable establishment, Master Gibralon. Just Gibralon will do. And I'm flattered that you think so highly of my establishment. Can't promise it'll live up to your expectations, but if it's decent food and drinks you're after, you could do much worse. Judging by the number of customers I see, I suspect your fare is rather more than decent. Speaking of your clientele, I could not help but note a difference between those who frequent the upper and lower floors. Spotted that, did you? Aye. Up there you'll find peddlers, porters, off-duty knights, and so forth, dropping in on their duty to or from somewhere else. Regulars maybe, but not locals. Folks on a broom, they tend to congregate downstairs, where we offer a menu more suited to their tastes. Cheaper meals, stronger spirits, all quality mind, but not the sort of stuff I'd recommend to yourselves. You speak of the lowest levels, yes? Why do they call them the broom, if I may ask? 'Cause when the weather's foul and the broom rolls in thick, it's the poor sods living at the bottom who have to deal with it. I see. And it's not just the weather. When the wyverns broke through the wards and started tearing up the city, it was the broom that got the worst of it, while the pillars enjoyed the protection of the high houses and the temple knights. More than a few people are still sore about that, mind, which is why, considering your present company, I'd recommend you keep your wits about you if you mean to go below. And something sharp in your boot, just to be sure. I shall take your word to heart, sir. Master Elfino, I think it would be best if you return to Fort Tom's Manor. You're gonna head without me. I'm staying for a drink or two. Miss Tatari, I'm afraid that is out of the question. My lord the Count would never forgive me if I abandoned one of his charges in such a place. Least of all a maiden. What are you up to, Tatari? Look around, Elfino. This tavern is full of people whose business regularly takes them beyond the gates of judgment. With friends like that, I could practically live here and wait for the newest gossip to come to me. Indeed, but will you be safe here on your own? Oh, please, do you know how often I looked after the waking sands and the rising stones by myself? If I had a guild for every unwelcome caller I've driven away, I'd be rich beyond my wildest dreams. I'll be fine. Not that I doubt the lady's knack for fending off unwanted advances, but I'll be damned if I'm going to let anyone lay an unwelcome hand on a patron in my establishment. That settles it then, Tatara. Lane and I shall return to the manor for now. Contact me by link pearl if you require assistance. I will. Right. Back to the manor. To the manor. We're going back to the manor. Right. Tell us then, Master Afino, has Ishgard meet with your expectations? That which I imagined pales in comparison to the reality. I felt the weight of 1,000 years of history with every step I took, and when those steps took me past the scars left by the wyverns in Foundation, I understood how easily that history could end in tragedy. The attack was devastating, the casualties unspeakable. The wyverns did not discriminate. Unarmed men and women, even children, were given no quarter. Sir Emmerich has ordered his knights to strengthen our defences, and each house has been called upon to lend what support it can. There's much to be done, yet alas, able-bodied men and women are in short supply. Mayhap we could be of assistance, my lord. After all you have done for us, we would welcome any opportunity to repay your kindness. Nod. That is a most generous offer, Master Alfina. You are a guest in my home, to whom I have extended my hospitality, without obligation, let or lead. Nevertheless, Ishgard's need is great, and if you are willing to aid our cause, I cannot well refuse. Good. What would you ask of us? From what I have heard, you are an intelligent and persuasive young man. Such qualities may prove useful to us in our efforts to secure provisions from foreign sources, identifying trustworthy suppliers, brokering contracts, and so on. As for you, Mistress Adair, I could ask for no one better than a storied veteran such as yourself, a woman with the capacity to act swiftly and decisively when needed, to aid Artois and Emmeline in their duties. I beg your pardon? I am more than capable of carrying out my duty by myself. I have no need of our honored guest's assistance. Now, be reasonable, brother. What manner of fool would say no when a famous hero offers to do his work? Hold your tongues, by the Fury, the two of you will conduct yourselves with the dignity befitting your station and show Mistress Adair the respect she deserves. This is the woman who slew Gaius van Baelzer and some half-dozen primals besides. She is not here to steal your glory or serve as your errand girl. If you can pardon them their impropriety, Mistress Adair, I should be much obliged if you would lend my sons a helping hand. My thanks. Fury willing, they may even learn something from you. To Tim we shall not want for employment over the coming days, though that was never in doubt. Our host's initial reluctance to accept our offer of aid was solely for appearance's sake. In truth, he is glad of this opportunity to put us to work. By granting us patronage, House Fortams has taken a tremendous risk. Until we demonstrate our worth to Ishgard at large, the Count will face considerable opposition from his peers in matters great and small. And so, he would have us publicly serve Ishgard, while simultaneously keeping his sons in check. This is an arrangement we may benefit from in unexpected ways. My own duties may feasibly bring me into contact with people who know something of our missing comrades. And as you go about helping our two lords with their various responsibilities, you will inevitably make new acquaintances in Ishgard, mayhap even new allies. Yes, the more I think on it, the more confident I am that by furthering their goals, we shall further our own. Alright, so this is basically like a split path. You can choose to either follow Emmeline or Artois. You can like get both of the quests at the same time. But I'm just gonna focus on one and then on the other one. You know what? I think I'm gonna start with Emmeline. Sure. So be off then, old girl. But where are my manners? Emmeline de Fortin, second son of Count Edmond de Fortin. True-born, that is. Yes, I know what you're thinking, and you're absolutely right. What ill fortune to be born second in a society where the eldest inherits all. Oh, my brother would never cut me off, 'tis true. But who would be satisfied subsisting on a meager allowance, forever overshadowed by siblings? Not I, old girl, not I. Which is why I need your help to ensure that this business in the Sea of Clouds goes swimmingly, so that the tales of my great deeds can win me a place in the people's hearts. Or better yet, raise me higher in their estimations than Artois. Ambitious, I grant you, but then I do have a legendary hero to do my bidding. Oh, don't look at me that way. I jest. Anyway, we are to aid the good and men and women of House Hiranort. They have ever been steadfast friends to our house, though they've fallen on hard times since the calamity, poor blighters. As for what precisely we will be doing, well, what fun would it be if I told you everything in advance? Just come along with me to the airship land. We'll need to take the airship to Camp Cloudstop. Right. And now all of these side quests, or then I guess some of them have also unlocked. But once again, I will leave those for after we are done with the main story. Landing a stable job. The irony. Are you ready to depart, madam? The airship bound for Camp Cloudtop will be leaving shortly. Bum bum bum. Bum bum. Welcome to the Sea of Clouds.
Upon an airship, conceived within the fecund mind of Cid Garland, renegade prodigy of Garlemald, who had come to call Eorzea home. High into the heavens, where isles of earth and stone floated as clouds, a frontier the knights of Ishgard had scarce begun to explore. To a fledgling outpost, within the sea of clouds, where careworn scouts ever scanned the skies for winged shadows, she came.
She came. Amen. I love that. After everything, it's always like she came, or they came, or anything, and it's good soup. Good stuff. Awfully cold up here. I mean, Curses may not be blessed with the warmest weather in the world, but compared to this, it seems positively balmy. And of course, our hero is wholly unperturbed. You don't have to maintain that strong, silent persona all of the time, you know. Never mind. We need to find Lady Laniette. Laniette? How do you say this? Laniette? I'm just gonna say Laniette. Laniette? Yeah, whatever. She's in charge of the garrison here. Oh, and when we find her, just follow my lead. Yes? Excellent. Right. Welcome to this whole place. I'm going to attune to the Isarite. And that's what I'm gonna call it quits. I hope you enjoyed this episode of this. I was playing Final Fantasy XIV, and next episode we're gonna go and explore, or in any case, just start running around in the Sea of Clouds. Goodbye.